Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up here with the Season 2 Reloaded update on the 20th, we are going to see a brand new weapons update and a new meta update across Black Ops 6 and Warzone. This is, of course, going to include several new weapons, which were just recently revealed, alongside actual weapon updates, so various buffs and nerfs, and potentially even the reintroduction of some previously very broken and busted weapons. And so today, I wanted to preview basically what to expect with the entirety of the weapons update coming here in just a few days' time. So first up, initially, we got to talk the brand new weapons. And as we do dive into all the details here, quick reminder, if you are new to the channel or maybe you have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, whether it's news, updates, patch notes, or meta breakdowns. So if you're interested, feel free to hit that subscribe button and help us get one step closer to surpassing 1 million subscribers. Also, if you enjoy the video and or the information, a like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. So this time around, when it comes to the actual new weapons, it's a bit of an interesting update. Admittedly, personally, I'm a little bit let down by the content in Season 2 Reloaded, at least from a weapons standpoint, just because a lot of it is very niche. You're not going to have many, global updates here, at least from the new weapons element. Now, when it comes to actual meta changes and whatnot, the full details there that'll be revealed in the patch notes, hopefully we see some more significant changes. But for the new weapons, like I said, it's a lot of very niche things. There's a heavy emphasis on melee weapons because of the whole TMNT crossover, which means that as far as being excited for new content goes, unless you're into this very specific stuff, melees or a bit more niche and high skill gap weapons, it's a bit of a different update. You know, there's no universal new AR, which most players can look forward to. And it's like, okay, that's going to be something I'll use to help get ahead on the camo grind, or a new SMG that's probably going to fall in the meta. It's a bit different this time around. First up, we have a new secondary weapon. It's going to be classified as a special, so it's not technically a launcher. It's not technically a pistol. It's a true special weapon. And this is the D1.3 sector. Now, if you have played COD for a while, specifically back in Black Ops 3, you probably remember the D13 sector. This is essentially a remake of that. They're just calling it an early prototype, but this one's going to be available through the TMNT event, which kicks off next week on the 27th, I believe, and it's going to be a part of the free track for this. So it's going to be presumably an XP-based event. So just by playing the game, you'll be able to go through and unlock this by completing that event completely for free. There will also probably be a bundle that completely negates the entire event as well, because that's sort of been the trend this year. This is going to have its own unique leveling system, though. It's going to have 20 levels. It's got 3 mags with a mag size of 5, its own individual mastery badges, and on this you can actually equip a barrel, an underbarrel, a magazine, and a stock. But the actual weapon itself is very unique and very niche, and probably going to be a much higher skill gap than the majority of the weapons that we've got in the game. They say this is a rechambering blade launcher. Equip different magazines to access a variety of deadly projectile types. So part of it might be explosive, part of it might be direct impact. There might be some specials like stuns or concussions. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. They say cut the enemy to ribbons with this special secondary weapon that fires saw blades at your foe, a variant based on the infamous D13 sector in Black Ops 3. Use this special launcher by firing down sights or off the hip and account for the weapon's heavier projectiles when acquiring targets. A quick reload speed gets you back in the action with several powerful attachments available via the gunsmith, including new projectile types like the explosive and ricochet blades, as well as a long barrel, crossbar, and overclock stock. So this is a super unique weapon. It's going to be like nothing else that we have in the game right now. Unfortunately, for that reason, the fact that it is firing projectiles makes it a lot more difficult to use. It being semi-auto with a very limited ammo, going to make it very easy to use. Unless there's like some crazy broken one-shot capability with this thing, which in multiplayer there probably will be, more so focusing on the Warzone aspect here, it's probably not going to be a true meta contender by any means, and that's usually the case when it is a very different weapon and it's not a standard LMG or sniper or AR SMG, right? When it's a special or a launcher or something weird like this, it usually doesn't have much of a practical use. It's more for fun. It's more niche, as I've said a gazillion times already. It's more gimmicky there. Now, the remainder of the new weapons are really just melee focused here because of the TMNT crossover, which is kind of like the whole deal with this half season with Season 2 Reloaded. The melee weapons are out bigger and better than ever before. So first up here, we've got a skateboard melee. This is going to be available through the TMNT event as well, through the free track as a reward there, but there is going to be a blueprint for this too in the premium track. track if you wanted to pay for the event that is just making you pay money to play the game and get the same XP as before. But with this, obviously with all the melees, there's no customizing them here. They just have their own individual stats and, you know, attributes basically. With the skateboard, it's a one-hit elimination, moderately fast attack speed, moderately long range. Hold on to your board deck, side out, and swat away enemies in your way. The skateboard features swiping attacks from the side to side as well as an overhead slam with a heavy wind-up attack to knock the wind out of your target before finishing with the final blow. After that, we've got the katanas. These are going to be available through the armory right away. So these will just be XP based through the armory. Like if there's other weapons you've missed from previous games, it'll be pretty straightforward there. However, there will also be a bundle if you just want to straight up outright buy the katanas instead. With this, again, just its own unique stats. It's a one-hit elimination, moderately fast attack speed with shorter range, slice, chop, and hit with both katanas at once using this impressive dual-wield setup that makes short work of enemies in close proximity. Prepare a heavy attack to end the encounter with a dispatch above the collar. Pretty straightforward. Next up, we've got the bow staff, also available through the armory as well. There will be a blueprint shown in the bundle, and it's going to be through the TMNT event too, as a premium track reward there. So there's several ways to get the bow staff. With this, it's another one-hit elimination, at least from the multiplayer standpoint, with a slow attack speed, but very long range. Swipe and strike at targets using the bow staff long reach to hit them from further out compared to other melees. Conduct a heavy attack to knock foes silly with a clobbering smash. Again, pretty straightforward. It's a melee at the end of the day. We also have the nunchucks available through the armory or through a bundle as well. With these, it's going to be a two-hit elimination with a very fast attack speed and medium range. Though they don't dish out as much damage as some of the other ninja weapons, the nunchucks make up for more with a rapid attack speed that quickly chains into follow-up attacks. Prepare the heavy strike to spin your target around and knock them to the ground. Then we also have the Psy Melee, once again available through the armory, then also through a bundle. This one is a one-hit elimination with a fast attack speed but very short range. Equip a pair of Psy to get up close and personal with rapid attacks that will send foes reeling. Hold your weapon at the ready using the heavy attack and unleash them when the time is right to strike. So, bunch of melees. Super specific to those of you who enjoy that playstyle, but overall, weapons that are not going to have a huge impact on the overall meta. Now, we do also have one new aftermarket part or ammo mod update coming in Season 2 Reloaded, and this is the belt-fed attachment. This is going to be available on the PU-21, the XMG, the GPMG, and the Fang 82, so every LMG, and it'll be available through the TMNT free track reward for that event. They say outfit any of the 4 available LMGs with a large helping of extra ammo continuously fed to the weapon through sustained fire. Belt-fed weapons can overheat through extensive use, so lay off the trigger now and then to let things cool down. So you're not going to have to reload when you put this on, but obviously there's the overheating aspect. It's going to be for spraying and praying in moderation to a certain extent, right? So a bit more niche. Curious to see if that changes the damage profile of anything. If not, I mean, it's going to be useful on the already good LMGs, but if it does change the damage profile, then of course it's just completely dependent on what's being adjusted there. So certainly want to keep an eye on. Now, outside of the new weapon updates for the seasonal content, we also can expect a full-on meta update with buffs and nerfs. Now, they have not gone into the exact details here. They won't until the patch notes drop, and obviously when those do surface, I'll be covering them right away. But because the weapon-based content this time around with Season 2 Reloaded is, admittedly in my opinion, again, a little bit underwhelming. There's no new full, like, super popular weapons this time around. I would expect larger things for the meta shakeup across multiplayer and Warzone. We're specifically focusing more on the Warzone meta here since that's predominantly what we cover, you know, on a day-to-day basis on the channel as is. One thing of note is that there are several weapons that could be, keyword could, be returning with Season 2 Reloaded because they've been removed from the game due to bugs. This includes the Reclaimer 18 shotgun. There were some busted blueprints for that actually made it fire multiple shots more than intended, so they just straight up deleted it from the game. Hopefully that can get fixed, so then it'll be added back into the overall shotgun meta. The Core 45 with the binary trigger on there also had some crazy broken TTK stats, so that was removed. That's still missing. There's a chance that gets added back. Then also, in the season of melee weapons, I guess, the spear melee was removed a little while ago too. Hopefully that's, gonna get fixed here shortly. So it's quite possible we see those weapons added back in. That's been investigated on the Trello for some time there. As far as weapon buffs and nerfs go, again, this is really sort of up in the air. It's a lot harder to predict this year because they aren't very consistent with what they've been updating, patch to patch. In previous years, MW2, MW3, it was a lot more straightforward, and I was honestly, I would say, tooting my own horn here a little bit, pretty spot on for several of the, previews here. But for BO6 Warzone, they've been very sporadic with what they're buffing and nerfing. I think there is going to be some highlights potentially on some older weapons, like MW3, for instance. The Supery's gained a lot of popularity lately because of its insane movement speed. I would not be surprised if something like that ends up getting nerfed because they want this heavy emphasis on BO6 guns. I do think, though, there needs to be a bit more diversity across the categories. Right now, rifles and SMGs are the main two standouts. It's things like the Model L, the Krig, the AK, and then things like, for instance, the PP919, the Jackal is still decent, the C9, the KSV. We don't really have much going on elsewhere. Some of the marksmen's still pretty underwhelming. The LMG category as a whole doesn't really stand out whatsoever. Shotties are still pretty underpowered in my opinion. So I would love to see some more diversity between the weapon classes. That's just simply me, hoping and wanting, though. As far as what you would actually expect with this, I think it's going to be, more heavy emphasis on the popular weapons, maybe trying to balance out some a little bit there. But truly, like I said, there's no predicting when it comes to their meta updates. We could see 40 of them in this patch. We could see 4 of them in this patch. It's going to be completely dependent on the patch notes there, unfortunately. So not much to go off of as of now as far as any indications with that. But again, once the patch notes surface and we have all the official details, I'll be keeping you guys in the know. So stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD in the coming days and weeks by hitting that subscribe button and turning on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.